Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is sadly going to be a Project Pan finale. The Panners Pan was created by Cookie Pans on Instagram as a way for the panning community to come together and support each other, like give people shout outs, and you would choose a product to align with a certain project panner you would like to share about. And this project started September 14th of last year, so it has been over a year. I have not been consistent on updates. Like I would do them every month and then every other month and then I'd forget to update. So there's that as well. And also, like, Cookie Pans herself has been having a hiatus this whole year, so not having like the leader of the project participating always just makes me feel like, okay, it's been a year as well, so we can just wrap things up. I have loved this project so much. I did some crazy things with this project over the last year for different panners, and I have thoroughly enjoyed every aspect of this project pan. I love shouting out other creators and will continue to do so on my channel, whether, you know, in other project pans and such. But like, that community feel has been so special to me. I feel like I've made new friends through this project pan, and I have spoken about like project pan overwhelm quite a bit on my channel recently. She says, as she put an intro up to the Roulette Pan collab not that long ago, but I feel like I'm working on like 13 products in this project pan, and it's just too much right now. And for all of those reasons, that is why I'm filming a finale, even though I'm so sad to do it. I feel like this is the type of project that can go on and on and on. Like, you would never run out of panners to chat about, and if you did, you could circle back to those you put into your intro. It's just such a special concept, and thank you, Elizabeth, for creating this. I have loved it thoroughly, because there are some things that I didn't get through the way I wanted to. So for example, for Alexi, I was doing 3 looks, 1 palette, and I wanted to do that 10 times so that it was kind of like a 30 use goal, but 3 uses per palette, and I only got to, I was on my 7th palette. And for Too Much Tosh, I wanted to rotate through 4 of my most neglected blushes in my collection because she did that. And I wanted to use them 10 times each, and I only got through 1 of the 4 blushes. I was doing them 1 at a time. Just things like that. For Sarah, I was doing lipstick roulette with my cookie jar up there. I wanted to get through all of them. Obviously I haven't, as there's still a cookie jar behind me, but again, I will incorporate those into other videos. I've been pulling them in Shop My Stash regardless of whether, like, while I've been doing this project. So there are things I can still do to honor the project panners that I was talking about in this project, but I just had like such a massive list of people I never got to roll in who I love their content, whether that be on Instagram or on YouTube. So I will have to pull them into project pans in other ways and chat about them that way. Alright, let me just go in the order of my list here, not necessarily in the order of like goals I met versus ones I didn't. A bronzer and a panner that has been in since my intro for Love Heatherette or Heather. I was working on the Too Faced chocolate bronzer. It crumbled in this like flimsy packaging, so I repressed it into this empty compact that I bought off of Amazon. My goal was to hit pan on it, and then I realized that was kind of silly after I repressed it, so I changed my goal to 30 uses, and I did succeed in meeting that goal. Because I use such a big bronzer brush, sometimes I should say, I feel like I wore away the outer edges where it's very thin more than making a dip in the middle or anything. So I think hitting pan on this would have taken me a really long time. I also didn't repress it the best, like it is cracking and stuff in there. But overall, I'm just happy I got 30 uses on this bronzer and am ready to put it away and work on some others in my collection. But this was a goal met. For Alexi, like I mentioned, I was doing 3 looks, 1 palette. I was pulling the palettes roulette style. In my last update, I pulled in a brand new palette to me. This is the GlamLite Mikayla palette, and unfortunately I just didn't really get to this. I did do 1 look, which I will pop in a picture, and maybe by the time I'm editing I will have at least 1 more look. I have a hair stuck in my mascara. Because this was a new palette, now that I've used it, it doesn't really belong in the makeup drawer of shame, but I don't have a review or anything yet. I haven't used it enough. So this is going back upstairs to my everyday makeup drawer and will be put back into its rotation as if this finale isn't happening. But I won't feel like a pressure and a rush to get to it right now. Like I've been putting off filming this finale, trying to make the space to use this 3 times, because for the 3 looks 1 palette, I'm obviously using just this palette, and I've been doing a lot of like a shade here, a shade there, a shade over here, you know what I mean? So I was super happy with the 1 look that I did. I think the formula in here is different from the Ice Cream Dream palette, and I think that this is better. The shimmer shades in here were so moist and foiled. I know that's an awful word, but that is like literally what comes to mind. Like to touch them, I applied them with my finger. They were so delicious. The mattes blended seamlessly. I was using Rhody and Freetown and some of these browns up here, and I used NARS, Manifest, and Audrey down here. It's amazing. The 1 look that I did, and I didn't just, stick to the neutrals up here. Like I really played with the blues. I loved it. So I'm very excited to do 2 more looks. This project is coming to an end, so I'll have to be self-disciplined enough to use this more times with it being not in a project. The last panner I had in here since the intro was Kelly Gooch, and I was trying to hit pan in Tarte Party. I did not dedicate enough time to this to even come close to hitting pan. Honestly, this blush still looks brand new. I have used this less than 30 times over the course of the year because I never felt an urgency with this project for a lot of things because it didn't have an end date. And I just kind of decided in the last few weeks that I was going to do a finale now. So even then it was like, oh, well, I'm never going to get enough uses out of this to hit pan. So I'm going to focus on other things. And I've used this 3 times since the last update, which was over 2 months ago. So for Laura, I pulled in BareMinerals Ready Touch-Up Veil Powder. My goal was to hit pan on this. My packaging is nasty now, and I did not do that. I really thought that I could by this update because the dip in here is massive, but really not a lot of powder picks up on a brush or my finger, enough to set my face fine. But like there's 0 kick up with this powder, so I'll have to work on this another time. For Lisa Stevens, I was working on my Farmacy Bright On mask. This literally has 1 use left in it. It's pulled up at the edges here, and I was doing the like squeeze the corner situation the last time I applied this, so I think I can get 1 more full face. But for the purposes of this finale, I am going to call this done. I used up half of the mask in this project for Lisa Stevens and her May Mask Challenge. I feel like this mask isn't really like doing a whole lot. It's supposed to be brightening with like vitamin C, but like it feels more like a clay mask. For Danny, I've been working on my Physicians Formula liquid eyeliner, and almost every time I use it, I'm thinking, oh yes, this is going to be the last time, because by the end of my second eye, it's like starting to, you know, not be as black, but the next time I pull it out, it's working just fine. This is old and I feel like I've used it a ton and it's just not drying out. It's just the eyeliner that keeps on giving. I have not been really doing winged liner over the last few months with this, so maybe that will help. I'll do that more this fall when there's less, you know, water Nerf gun situations happening in my backyard and all of that with my 3 boys. So I do hope for this to be an empty soon, definitely by the end of the year, but I just didn't get there for this finale. As I mentioned earlier, for Too Much Tosh, I was working on some neglected blushes. The first one I rolled in of my planned 4 was Makeup Geek Cherish. I did use this 10 times. It's a beautiful, neutral blush. Natural, neutral blush. Very similar, honestly, to Tarte Party. Tarte Party is maybe a little bit more pink, but honestly, they look very similar on the cheeks. I loved using this to mix with my Model Co. Peach Bellini blush that I've been trying so hard to hit pan on to kind of neutralize it and tone it down, because that is a very vibrant blush. And I have really enjoyed using this and working on it. It still looks pretty much new, even though it is old, but I'm at least happy that I got some use out of it. I'm just sad that I didn't get to the other 3 I had wanted to. For Jaylon, I pulled in a MAC lipstick in the shade Plumful because she works on her high-end lipsticks in a project pan where she wants to use them up a quarter of the way. I chose to use this 10 times and I did meet that goal. I really do like this lipstick a lot. It's a luster finish, but it's just very comfortable and I really like the pinky shade. For Sarah, as I mentioned, I was doing the lipstick roulette. I pulled 4 Lippies out of the cookie jar each time, and last month I got 3 liquid lipsticks and 1 bullet lipstick. The bullet lipstick I'm wearing today, it's ColourPop Aquarius. It's just a really great nude shade, leaning more cool toned. I wore this on my wedding day. My anniversary was yesterday as I'm filming this, so it was nice to have this pulled out, and I did use it a couple of times. ColourPop Ultra Satin in the shade November, another Kathleen Lights collabs. I bought almost everything that she put out with ColourPop. This was a stunning shade for the summer. I used this quite a bit. I really like the Ultra Satin formula from ColourPop. I used the Girlactik matte lip paint in the shade Demure 2 times, which I'm very happy with. This lipstick, if you put a little too much on, it does crack, but it doesn't feel like cement on your lips, which some super drying liquid lipsticks can feel like, so I didn't mind the formula, and it's a great fall shade. I'm happy I got some use out of it. One that I completely forgot about and couldn't even find before filming this update, like I was searching high and low for this to come downstairs, was the e.l.f. liquid matte lipstick in the shade Tea Rose. I did not get to this, so unfortunately this will be going back into the cookie jar to be pulled out another time. This is super cool toned. And honestly, I haven't been doing really any looks that this would go with, like super cool toned. More into the fall I will be, but for now it will be going back into the cookie jar. And lastly, the last update I rolled in Katarina. Her Pan That palette this year is the Modern Renaissance palette, so I chose to try and hit pan on a shade, and I successfully did that. I hit pan in the shade Burnt Orange. Again, I'll insert a picture of a close-up. It's actually like a double pan. Like there's the tiniest speck of pan above the bigger pan, which is super fun. I have now hit 3 pans in this palette this year without this being a Pan That palette. I don't think I could ever have the dedication to pan a palette, But this year I hit pan in Tempera, Burnt Orange, and Cypress Umber. So I'm feeling really good about how this palette is looking. I think the next shade I could hit pan in is either Golden Ochre or Bonfresco. Both have pretty good dips in them, but everything else doesn't really have very much of a dip. Even the shimmers. Love Letter probably has a pretty big dip behind the other two that I mentioned, but I'm happy that this palette is looking more love. Katarina's almost done with hers, which is amazing, and I'm so happy I was able to roll her into this project. But that was all of the progress I made on this project pan. I'm still so sad to be for a finale. But honestly, I need to do it. I've gone back and forth on it for weeks or days or whatever, and it just needed to happen, even if I am sad to let this project go because it has been so much fun. But I always feel this way. Like when I ended the Mission 100% Cruelty Free project pan, I was sad to see that one go. Like I just have problems letting things go. Maybe that is the real issue here. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. You'll have to let me know if you enjoyed watching this project pan and if maybe I should bring it back at a later date. But right now I have another project pan starting November 1st following the Graveyard project pan. The next project that I have created more for myself, but anyone is welcome to join if you so choose once you find out what it is. And I just started the Roulette Pan collab as well, so with this project ending and Graveyard ending soon, that kind of evens the scales out again for me. I'm going to stop rambling because I feel like my voice is ready to go. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.